Once I had funded the wedding, my stepsister placed a guard with pictures of my children. Do not allow. We turned right back and left. 2 hours had passed. Her new father-in-law contacted me directly. The ceremony is off, he stated coldly. They are on their way to your house to plead. Do not open that door. I heard a tap, and then you know that feeling? When you think you know your place, your role in the family, only for it all to shatter in an instant. I'm Jared, 33, and I used to be the fixer, the stepper-upper, the guy who always showed up. But then, my children's faces appeared on a do not admit blacklist at a wedding I helped finance. And that day, everything changed. What the hell happened next? You're about to find out. My life isn't loud. It's lists. Invoices, perfectly rolled yoga mats, playlists named Sunrise Slow and Storm Calm. I teach yoga, chase my 6-year-old son Ben, who sleeps with a dinosaur flashlight, and my 3-year-old daughter Ava, who calls strawberries red moons. We have a happy, messy life in our small townhouse. My students call me grounding. My family. They call me when something's on fire. I fix schedules. I show up early. I bring food. That's just who I am. Then there's Chloe, my stepsister. She's 27, permanently backlit, always posting brand deals with oat milk and beige sweaters, talking about quiet luxury, like she's bored by her own privilege. My stepmom, Kira, calls her our star. My dad just nods along, a background musician in Chloe's symphony. Growing up, the script was crystal clear. I was the steady one, the handler, the guy who carried the extra charger. Chloe was the main character. At holidays, she changed outfits like the sun changes angles, while I carved turkey and refilled water. It was a role I accepted. You get to be useful. You get to feel needed. You also get used. This whole mess really started on a Tuesday in May. Morning light on my mat. Class was good. I was wiping down blocks when my phone buzzed. Kira, my stepmom. I almost let it ring out, but I answered. Because I always do. Jared, she says, like a small emergency already happened. Where are you? At the studio. I say, everything okay? Everything's beautiful, she purrs. Which means, of course, everything is about Chloe. We need to talk about the wedding, she continued. It's coming together fast. The venue needs a decision by Friday. They mentioned a deposit. I leaned against the cubbies, the ones where my students keep their sweaty socks. Okay, I said slowly. We'll go over the details at dinner, she stated, not asking, just dropping an event onto my mental calendar. You know Chloe's vision. Classic, clean, elevated. Then she waited. I said nothing. You always step up, she added, her voice softening, like she was wrapping a demand in a cashmere blanket. We're counting on you. There it was. That first flicker. Not the money itself. Not yet. Just that sentence. The one that had opened every door for years. You always step up. I looked out the studio window. A kid on a scooter wiped out, popped right back up, rode again. I pictured Ben and Ava, crumbs in their car seats, sticky hands. I pictured my savings spreadsheet, its careful columns. Rent, groceries, preschool, taxes, the oh no fund we'd finally started. Dinner's at 6, Kira said. Bring the kids. Chloe wants to squeeze their cheeks. Sure, I replied. Bring Maya, too. She tacked on, like my wife was an optional accessory. When the call ended, I stood in the quiet studio and felt something I didn't often feel. Heat behind my eyes. Nothing had really happened yet. Just a question, wrapped as a foregone conclusion. But I could smell the pattern lighting up, like incense after it catches. Slow, then smoke everywhere. I stacked the blocks. Refilled the sanitizer. Locked the door. On the walk home, that sentence played in my head. You always step up. And in the next breath. At what cost? Dinner at Dad and Kira's is always a small performance. Gold forks, linen napkins, even for reheated lasagna. Dad pours wine like it's his new personality. Chloe arrived 30 minutes late, in something white and slippery. Parker, her fiancé, trailing behind. He looks like a golf course, shakes hands like he bought the trademark. Jared Bear, Chloe sang, using the nickname from when I chased the ice cream truck for her. My favorite brother. I'm your only brother, I said. She kissed the air near my cheek. Still my favorite. Maya squeezed my hand under the table. The kids colored quietly at Kira's kids' station, which was a tray with 2 crayons and a gold-rimmed cup. After salad, Kira brought out the binder. It should have been funny. It wasn't. She placed it in front of me with 2 fingers, like a contract. We're keeping it minimal, Chloe said, opening to a page with a chandelier that looked like an octopus made of diamonds. Just tasteful moments. Parker pointed at a photo of a barn that cost more than my car. We're doing it here. Rustic, but modern. Okay, I said. I've learned that syllable can mean many things. Kira flipped to the spreadsheet. Printed on glossy paper. Who prints spreadsheets on glossy paper? This is just the initial ask, she said. Non-negotiables. I read. Venue deposit, due Friday, $12,800. Catering installment, $8,750. Florals retainer, $2,200. Live string duo for cocktail hour, $1,600. DJ, $1,500. Content creator team, $2,500. Bride emergency fund, $1,000. Total, $30,350. I looked up slowly. Maya looked at me. Her eyes asked, "Are we about to be set on fire?" Politely. Kira smiled, all teeth. "We thought you could handle the deposit," she said, as if suggesting I pick up milk. "We'll sort the rest together, as a family." Dad lifted his glass. "Family," he echoed. "He's good at toasting things he didn't cook. How much are you and Dad contributing?" I asked Kira. Her smile twitched. She glanced at Dad. "We raised you," she said. "We've always taken care of you." My brain pulled up images like a quick slideshow. Me at 19 mopping a cafe to pay for my own phone. Me at 23 lending Dad money for a car battery. Chloe at 25 getting a surprise brand internship in New York, which was Kira's friend's guest room. Parker's parents? Maya asked gently. She's kind, even when she doesn't want to be. Is there a split? They're hosting the rehearsal dinner, Chloe chirped. Sushi. It's like a vibe. Ben looked up. What's a vibe? Broccoli, I said. Eat it. Chloe kept going. The vendor discount ends Friday. We have to lock in. It's stressful. You wouldn't get it. Yoga is like feelings. Yoga is a job, I said. Feelings pay me. Kira laughed too loud. Jared, you're such a comedian, she said, which meant, stop being difficult. She tapped. The glossy spreadsheet. It's one number. We'll make it easy on everyone. Easy on everyone, Maya repeated under her breath. Her jaw ticked. She looked down at Ava, who was carefully lining up peas like tiny students. We ate. Chloe told a story about a brand that sent her a lamp worth a car payment. Dad said, incredible, like she discovered electricity. Parker explained NFTs to no one. I cut Ben's chicken. After dinner, Kira cornered me at the kitchen island. You always step up, she said again, soft as a nap. It's time to be the big brother. Big brothers don't fund weddings, I said. Big brothers make dreams possible, she countered. I drove home in quiet. The kids fell asleep in tragic neck positions. Maya stared out the window, like she was trying not to bite something. At our table after bedtime, we did numbers. We had savings, not huge, but enough to breathe. If the car died, or a client canceled 6 sessions, we could cover a chunk. But we could not be the bank. I wrote, $20,000 total, on the back of an envelope. Writing limits makes them feel more real. Maya stroked the spot between her eyebrows where a headache lives. We can't be the only adults in their story, she said. I know, I replied. But it's Dad. It's Kira, she said. And Chloe. And you, Jared, standing where they ask you to stand. I texted Kira. We can help with the venue deposit. We can't cover everything. She replied too fast. Knew you'd come through. Send by Friday. Then Chloe was crying happy tears. You're the best. No, thank you. Just a thumbtack to my shirt. I slept badly. Woke at 4 a.m., staring at the ceiling, thinking of my students and how I always tell them to notice where they grip. Jaw, shoulders, hands. I unclenched. Didn't fall back asleep. Friday. I didn't send anything. I told Kira, we'll talk more. She sent 3 cake emojis and a champagne bottle, like negotiation was a party. I went to class and said, root down. And I meant, don't get yanked around. I drove home listening to a voicemail from Dad about tradition and stepping up and doing the right thing. I breathed. I didn't answer. Then the slow squeeze began. A week later, retainer due. We'll reimburse ASAP. 2 days after that, DJ special ends today. Can you front? Then, content team gave us a deal if we book now. Game changer. Each message was small. None said please. They stacked like blocks until they were a wall. I held the line once, twice. Then I heard Kira cry in a voicemail. I caved. I told myself it was a loan. I told myself grown-ups keep receipts. I started a note in my phone. Chloe wedding track. I typed numbers. I felt my stomach drop after each one. I told myself it was family. I told myself it was temporary. Meanwhile, the little cuts kept coming. Tasting is adults only. No kids in the bridal suite. Delicate fabrics. Please don't bring plastic toys. They ruin the vibe. The vibe got bigger than the people. My name became a square on a spreadsheet. A week before the wedding, Kira texted, "Final head count. No kids, right? Bride's vision is upscale." I stared at the screen. I typed, "We're a family of 4." She typed back, "We'll figure it out." She didn't say how. "We'll figure it out" had always meant, "You will bend." I picked up the kids from preschool. Ava showed me a sticker of a frog and called it a green moon. Ben asked if he could wear his dinosaur tie to the wedding. I said yes. I swallowed something that tasted like a penny. The day before, I drove Parker across town to pick up cufflinks because his Tesla needed a charge. He played a podcast about optimization and called me champ. Back at my place, Maya looked at me like I was telling a joke badly, and it was still going. "You don't have to be their hero," she said. "I know," I said, but I didn't change anything. The morning of the wedding arrived. I dressed in my only good suit. Maya wore a navy dress that made her look like the person you call when the plane's engine stops. Ben's dinosaur tie was crooked. Ava's hair clip was a star. I packed snacks, crayons, spare tights, 2 tiny toy cars, Band-Aids, wipes, a charger. A plan. We drove to the venue in a long line of cars. The barn was beautiful. The sky was unsure. I rolled my shoulders and told myself to be air, to flow around nonsense, to just get through it. I did not plan for what was waiting at the top of the steps. At the entrance stood a man in a black suit. Security, dressed like a guest. He held a clipboard and a clear sheet protector. Inside were 2 color printouts. Ben's kindergarten photo. Ava, with pigtails and in black marker above their faces, "Do not admit." Maya's hand found my arm and tightened. My stomach dropped like I'd missed a stare. The man smiled professionally. "Afternoon. Are you Jared?" "Yes." He glanced at the plastic. "And these are Ben and Ava." I heard my own voice from far away. "Those are my kids, right?" He said, "The bride requested a no-children policy. I'm instructed to have any minors escorted to the on-site sitter. If you refuse, I'm supposed to deny entry." "There is no sitter," I said, "because we weren't told about a sitter." He shifted his weight. He didn't look mean. He looked like someone whose job got weirder than he signed up for. "Sir, I don't make the rules." A soft click of heels. Kira appeared, smile lacquered. Chloe peeked from behind the barn door, like a nervous deer in designer shoes, then retreated. "Oh, this," Kira said, like we were discussing a smudge on a window. "We tried to call." "My phone's on," I said. "It is. No missed calls." "It's for the aesthetic," she said. "Adult-only events photograph better. There are candles and glassware." Maya's voice was level, dangerously so. "You printed our children's faces to show a guard." "It's not personal," Kira said. "It's logistics." Ben looked up at me. He was brave, but small. "Did we do something bad?" "No, buddy," I said. "You did nothing wrong." A guest passed, eyes sliding over us like we were a hazard on the highway. The planner glided over. "We have a lot of fragile rentals," she chirped. "Insurance is very specific." She floated off. "Let's not make a scene," Kira said, in her church voice. "It's Chloe's day." I stared at the sheet protector. My son's gap-toothed grin under "Do not admit." My daughter's pigtails. The feeling that came wasn't fire. It was a clear, clean cold. A click inside my chest, like something finally lining up. I handed the envelope with our card to Kira. "Congratulations," I said. "Jared," she warned, sweetness disguising menace. "We're leaving," I said. "Enjoy the wedding." Maya took Ava's hand. I took Ben's. We turned. The security guy said nothing. The gravel crunched. The sky decided to be cloudy. In the car, I buckled the kids with hands that felt oddly steady. We drove 10 minutes in silence. Ben whispered to Ava about French fries. Ava asked if we could listen to the frog song. Maya pressed her lips together so hard the color left. My phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go. It rang. Again. I answered. "Jared," a voice said. "This is Martin. I'm Parker's father." I said nothing. I just saw the list, he continued. The guard. The photos. His tone was calm, the way rich men get when they're about to end something. The wedding is off. What? I said. They're on their way to your house to beg, he said, cold. Do not answer the door. He hung up. I looked at Maya. She looked at me. We didn't say anything. 2 hours later, there was a knock at our door. 3 sharp raps. I heard his rhythm. Then Chloe's voice, muffled and high. Jared, we need to talk. I stood on the other side of the wood and thought about the version of me who always opened, who always smoothed things over, who always turned himself into a bridge. I put my hand on the deadbolt. Then I took it off. We didn't open the door. The knocking turned to buzzing phones. Kira, open up. We can fix this. Dad, let's be reasonable. Chloe, you ruined my life. Parker, please call me. I set the phone face down on the counter. I made grilled cheese. Ben dipped his in ketchup. Ava called the cheese yellow ring. Real life moves forward, even when the script breaks. At 6:12 p.m., Kira left a voicemail. It was long. The kind of long where you forget to breathe. You embarrassed us. The list wasn't personal. The venue needed it. You owe us a conversation. You owe us. There it was. The ledger. It never fails to appear. At 7:03 p.m., Martin called back. I answered on the second ring. I've pulled our contribution, he said. Bar minimum, shuttle, tent. Gone. I won't fund cruelty. I didn't ask you to do that, I said. You didn't need to, he replied. They CC'd me on vendor invoices. I saw your transfers. How much? I asked. My voice surprised me by being calm. 21 and change, I said. I tracked it. Send totals, he said. I'll claw back what I can and wire you anything refundable. The rest Parker will pay, or he'll learn what boundaries cost. This isn't revenge, I said. No, he replied. This is called consequences. I'll be in touch. When I hung up, the house was quiet in a way that wasn't empty. It felt like the first breath after a long hold. I sat and wrote an email, because texts turned slippery in this family. I put numbers like anchors. Subject, wedding expenses and next steps I covered. Venue deposit $12,800, catering installment $8,750, florist retainer $2,200, strings $1,600, DJ $1,500, content team $2,500 total. $29,350 vendor credits pending from Martin's cancellations. Estimated $6,000 net approximate. $23,350. You denied entry to the event you asked me to finance by posting my children's faces under Do Not Admit. I expect repayment in full. I will accept a 12-month plan. First payment due next month, on the 1st, via automatic transfer. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure and boundaries. Jared. I sent it to Kira, Dad, Chloe, and Parker. And Martin. Responses arrived fast. Kira, how dare you threaten your family? Dad, we can talk privately, son. Chloe, 12 months lol, we're not a bank. Parker, let me figure things out. Maya read over my shoulder and nodded. Clear, she said. Good. At 9:40 p.m., the door knocked again. I looked through the peephole. It was Dad. He stood like he always stands. One hand in his pocket, one rubbing his temple, like life is a puzzle he solves by massaging it. I opened. Because he is my father, and because I wanted to say this with my mouth, not a keyboard. Son, he said, stepping inside. This got out of hand. They printed my kids, I said. They weren't a policy. They were a blacklist. It was the venue, he offered. You think the venue had school photos of Ben? I asked. You think the barn Googled Ava? He exhaled. You could have stayed for your sister. You mean swallowed? I said. You mean performed quiet? He looked at the floor. We keep peace in this family. Peace without respect is just silence, I said. I'm done performing silence. He stared at me long enough to turn into a lecture. Then it didn't. He shook his head. I don't recognize you. I know, I said. I finally recognize myself. He left without slamming the door. Progress, I guess. The next morning, Kira posted a Facebook paragraph about protecting your joy from jealous people. My cousin screenshotted it. I didn't read the comments. People clap for noise when it's dressed pretty. At noon, Martin emailed a PDF titled Refund Summary. He got $6,200 back. He wired it the same day. He wrote, applied to your totals. Parker to cover the remainder. If he balks, I will. I won't be associated with people who blacklist toddlers. It's blunt. I respect blunt. Chloe tried a new tone that night. Let's talk like adults. No ultimatums. 10 minutes later, wow. Ignoring me. Power trip much. Then a photo of her puffy face with the caption, "This is what you did." I put my phone on, do not disturb, and read Ben a dinosaur book. 2 days later, Parker showed up at my studio unannounced. He stood in the lobby, shifting like a man in new shoes. My manager texted me. Asterisk guy in pastel polo asks for you by first name. Safe. Asterisk guy went out. We sat on a bench. He stared at the floor, at the ceiling, at his hands. Your email was intense, he said. You hired a guard to keep my children out? I said. I didn't hire, he started. I didn't stop it, I finished. Better. He scratched his jaw. 12 months is aggressive. It's generous, I said. 6 months is aggressive. He looked like a person calculating image versus cost. Fine, he said. 12 automatic transfers. First of the month, I said. He nodded. He stood. Tell Maya I'm sorry. Tell Chloe, I said. Tell your future self. The first payment arrived on the 1st, $1,945.83, with the memo for peace, which made me laugh out loud. The second month, they were 3 days late. I sent a reminder. Chloe replied with 3 crying emojis and $1,500. I sent back, balance, $445.83. She sent it. No note. Family chat went quiet. Dad sent me a meme about yoga. Goats, like we didn't bleed on the porch. Kira posted quotes about choosing light. I chose groceries. Ben lost his first tooth. Ava learned to say strawberry correctly, then decided she still preferred red moon. Anyway, I taught 3 sunrise classes in a row and my voice got that gravelly edge people call soothing. I slept better. 2 months in, there's a knock. Soft. I opened. Chloe stood on the step in sunglasses, hair in a bun. The costume of contrition. She took the sunglasses off. Her eyes were red. Can we talk? She said. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. You made a scene, she said. You made a list, I replied. It wasn't personal, she insisted. It was a photo of Ben, I said. You wrote "do not admit" over his teeth. She flinched. I didn't write it. The planner. You let it exist, I said. She exhaled. Mom says you've always hated me. I've always paid for you, I said. There's a difference. She looked at her shoes. So what now? We say hello at birthdays, I said. We don't exchange money. We don't put each other's kids on lists. We don't confuse guilt with love. She tilted her head. You sound like Instagram therapy. I sound like a dad, I said. She nodded once, like a judge granting bail. Fine, she said. Parker and I got married at the courthouse yesterday. You weren't invited. Good, I said. She blinked, confused, like I didn't play my line. We'll keep paying, she said. Good, I said again. It was a complete sentence. They paid for 7 months. Then the 8th was short. Need to pause. Parker texted. We moved money for something time-sensitive. I responded. New plan. $1,000 for 3 months, then resume full amount. He agreed. I wrote it down. I did not ask what was time-sensitive. I am not their bank. I am not their dad. Dad texted me. Barbecue Sunday. Bring kids. I stared at the message. Maya read my face. Go if you want to, she said. Don't if you don't. We went. The grill smelled like my childhood. Dad flipped burgers. He looked smaller. He didn't say sorry. He asked Ben about school. He asked Ava about her favorite color. He looked at me and said, You're different. And I said, I'm better. And he nodded, like that's a door he's willing to walk through slowly. On the drive home, the car was quiet in the good way. Maya took my hand across the center console. You did it, she said. I didn't fix them, I said. You fixed you, she corrected. That's the only job. The 9th payment arrived. Then the 10th. Then the final email from Martin. Applied last vendor credit of $200 from content team. Ridiculous. Your balance is 0. He wrote, You did right by your family. That matters. I believe him. There's one last message from Kira. A single line. We're disappointed in who you've become. I typed delete. Typed delete. I finally sent, I'm not. No more paragraphs. No more car rides for errands that weren't mine. No more. You always step up. I retired from that job. I hired myself for another, husband, dad, person with a spine. The door stays closed more often now. When it opens, it's because we want it to. When it closes, that's not spite. That's care. I teach class and tell my students, lengthen on the inhale, root on the exhale. I mean it in my body. I mean it in my life. The final transfer hits, $1,945.83. Memo, final. I open my note labeled Chloe Wedding Track and write the last line, balance $0. I don't delete it. Some records deserve to stay. Then I send a short email. Received final payment. Balance $0. Boundaries. No money exchanged. No family leverage. Kids stay out of conflict. If you can't meet that, I won't be there. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. Jared. I don't wait for replies. Ava climbs into my lap. Ben asks how to spell pteranodon. Maya kisses my head. The house smells like toast. Towels fall. Shoes never match. Our chaos, ours alone. People will say I was dramatic. But people who profit from your silence will always call your boundary rude. I didn't slam doors or post rants. I just decided not to stand where I was told anymore. Being the good son used to mean showing up no matter what. Now it means stepping away when staying costs your self-respect. Yes, I paid for a wedding I didn't attend. I left when my kids were treated like a policy. I sent numbers instead of screams. I said one line that mattered. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. I'm not the hero in Chloe's story. I don't need to be. I'm the dad who took his kids for fries instead of letting them be risks on a clipboard. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors that only open from the inside. This is how I end it. This is how I start again. So, tell me, have you ever faced a moment like this, where you had to draw a hard line with family? What did you do? I'm genuinely curious to hear your stories in the comments below.